And hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. And today I thought we'd have a little bit of a Scottish theme with the recent release of the new 158 timetable, the 5 circle route. I thought we'd have a play around the Scottish routes today, and we're going to start off with driving this rail tour from Glasgow Central to Neilston. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, first of all, before we do anything, let's get everything set up. We're going to do a rail tour first in the Class 47. So we'll just get our, oops, I don't know what happened there, our safety system switched on. Just having a little bit of a malfunction. Right, that's sorted. We'll just get this straight brake on for a moment. Get the headlights on. Oh, look at this. We've got 390 coming in. Let's get our other things set up. Marker lights on. Desk lights on. Don't think that's anything there, I don't think. No. I don't think there's anything else we need to switch on. Get our master key turned on. Reverse it into forward. Did go into forward, didn't it? We'll just release the brakes so that we're ready to go. So while we're waiting, we'll just have a little bit of a nosy. We're top and tailed with another... Oh, we got a... Class 31 on the back. As I say, we got the Pendolino there. 350. 380. 385, sorry, on the left. And a 158 over here. So yeah, let's have a quick look down the other side of the platform. It's saying I unlock the doors. I thought I'd unlocked them. Obviously not. I need to open them. So I've got this ScotRail livery on. I just need to turn down my sound in my headset. Otherwise I'm going to be shouting. Yeah, so there's this lovely livery which I downloaded as third-party livery. I have used it before on the West Coast Main Line, Preston to Carlisle. It's not downloadable from the Curators Club. It's downloaded as a separate mod. I can't remember the name of it now. If anybody's interested, just leave a comment or let me know and I'll try and give you a link to it. Right, it's asking to lock the doors. And we've released our brakes. So let's just add a little bit of throttle and get our straight brake off. Off we go. It's nice to see this Cathcart circle looking really nice and busy. Let's just have another look outside here. Wow. We have got quite a busy... Seem to be crashing into things behind me. Can't pull the camera out. But yes, very busy. What's this on our left here? We got a rail tour. Oh, it's empty. Maybe we're just on our way to go and collect people up. It's nice to see the old Class 31 on the back there. Alright, let's get back in the cab, make sure we're not running into any red signals. So what I hope to do after driving this down to Neilston, we'll try and pop onto the 5 Circle line and we'll drive the 158. I did drive it the other night in another stream actually, but what I was thinking was heading back in the other direction. I'd like to drive the route back in the other direction from what I drove it the other night. And if I've got any more time left, maybe drive over one of the other passenger services on this route here. So I'm playing on PC today. I'm normally an Xbox player. But most of my Scottish related add-ons and routes are all on the PC. But I'm not used to streaming from PC, so apologies if there's any technical issues, but I think everything's fine at the moment. Hello there, Dragon. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. I hope you had a good Halloween and my ghost story didn't scare you too much the other night. So we can put a little bit of throttle on here. This livery, this third-party livery that I've got is... I'm really impressed with it. I believe Tom from Just Trains commented as well somewhere that... it's a really well... very well done livery at release level standards. Hello there, Dragon. Yes, good to know you're okay. You need to do some night runs exploring stations. Yeah, I'd love to be able to do some streams, nighttime streams. The only problem with nighttime streams is they don't translate very well to other people's whatever they're watching it on. If they're watching it on the TV in a dark room, it's not too bad, but if watching it on the phone, you can't really see anything. So it's a shame I couldn't stream more in the dark, really. But playing privately, it's fantastic. closing all the curtains and blinds and switching all the lights off so that there's no reflections on the TV. Being in a dark room sort of like adds to that immersion of driving at night, because there's some lovely areas in various routes which are really beautiful lit at night. I mean, Carlisle station looks really nice lit at night. Yeah, daylight's definitely better for streaming. So it's quite a nice route, this Cathcart Circle, especially with it being so busy now with all the different layers. The only thing with the Cathcart Circle is, for me personally, I'm not really a big commuter fan, with stopping at stations every few hundred yards, as I've kind of said before. But I just put that down to lack of practice, really, and not driving the commuter routes as often as I should, really. Yeah, the autumn runs are really nice. I was having a bit of trouble. I couldn't read some of the signals properly. They were showing up. What looked like a yellow was really a red, and I think it was just, I don't know if it was the sort of like autumn setting or. But there's some really nice colours, and I was driving the 5 Circle in the autumn setting, and it looked awesome. I wasn't sure whether I was very impressed with the scenery and everything in 5 Circle, but the more I drove through the route, the more impressive it became. And I really quite like it now, so I'm looking forward to giving that a drive in the opposite direction on my next route after completing this journey. You have this route too, but you've only played it a couple times. Yeah, I haven't played it loads, neither. When I first got it, I did play it a few times. I quite liked the scenarios in it. There was one which involved doing something at the depot, which was quite good. Alright, we're getting down to 20 here. I'm going to be speeding. Applied too much brake then. Oh yeah, have they fixed the signals? Have they made some improvements to it? Because I thought it was just me that was having that issue. I had sort of like raised it a couple of times with people on different groups and forums, and I was getting kind of a mixed response, really. I mean, some people were putting it down to the fact that you know, the lights do become bleached with certain lighting conditions in real life. But some of these signals were looking like a yellow when they were red in quite sheltered areas, like under the canopy in the stations. It's a very busy looking map in every sense, from both train traffic and you know, that if I can just pull out a bit more, all this scenery. It looks really good. It's quite impressive. And the colours in the autumn trees at the moment look really good. Dragon. Yeah, I should play the scenarios on all routes really. More. I found the yellow and red wasn't clear myself. I'm glad I wasn't the only one though. I thought, is this old age creeping in here? So sometimes I have to look at my map to just double check in some circumstances. Hello, Super Sprinter. Good afternoon, sir. Just add a little bit more throttle in. Looking good. Lee Grant. I love haggis. Cool. Are you Scottish, Lee, or? Because I'm not Scottish, I don't know much about Scotland. I've not yet visited there, which is very shameful to say. And I haven't tried haggis neither. Oops. My dog's trying to get underneath my monitor here, so if we suddenly get cut off, it's because my dog's knocked all my equipment. Dragon's tried haggis once. It had whiskey in it, never again. I used to like whiskey when I was young, and vodka too, but I did have a bad experience with whiskey one night, and it's put me off it for life. I used to like Southern Comfort as well, which is a whiskey liqueur, I think, is it? God, I haven't seen that in ages, or had a drink of that. I had a fad with that. Sky looks really nice. I put 50% cloud on, which sort of like adds a little bit of extra depth, I think, to the scenery. Need to get my throttle off. Super Sprinter just brought a Swallow Class 47 and an Executive 125 set for £10, and he posted it for free $95. Wow, that's excellent. So is this for the model railway, is it, the Super Sprinter? Your quarter, Scottish Isle. Do you live in Scotland, or...? Double O gauge Sprinter. Right, sorry, yeah, I got it now. Do you know what? I really need to go back into my attic or loft, whatever, and check out my layout, really. I think I might have mentioned to yourself in an earlier stream that it's kind of been left in limbo, because as you'll know, it can be quite an expensive hobby, and it's quite a big layout that I've made. I'll have to make a bit of a video of how it exists at the moment, and it's such a shame that I've kind of not carried on with it, because the bulk, hardest and heaviest work that I've needed to do has been done. I'm very close to the fun part, which is starting to build, you know, the scenery and whatever in, and but I've just got this upper layer that I've got to build in first, and I really need to go and check out that all my rolling stock is all still working fine, because I've just left everything on the tracks. I've not reboxed it. I hope that doesn't cause any damage to them. Down south, you're down in South Essex, England. Cool. Super Sprinter, yes, but if anything cheap enough, I will just buy it. My train hobby is getting out of control. It does. It becomes quite addictive, doesn't it? You know, it's like when I mentioned that I've started to rebuild my Train SimWorld collection on PC, and we had this fantastic sale recently on Steam, because they're never really on Xbox at all, and everything was dirt cheap, you know, routes and locos and things for just $5, and but still, because I was virtually didn't have anything on PC, every day I just couldn't resist just ordering and buying more and more. I'd hate to think I must have spent a good couple of £100. Dragon, you have a model rail set. Very cool. I love one. Haven't got space and very expensive hobby. Yeah, that's it. That's the only trouble. Even with double O gauge, takes up quite a lot of room. I know there's a smaller gauge. Can't remember what it's called now. The smaller gauge. But sometimes just having a little. Just a little shunting section, if you've got room, 2 or 3 foot, enough room for a 2 or 3 foot board, and just for little shunting moves, you know. But I'm totally out of the model railway world now. Because I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos on other people who've got channels building their model railways, and kept an eye on what sales there were on and what were the latest releases. Right, we're shortly coming to our destination. What's this light in front of us? A yellow. That's definitely a yellow. Engage, that's right, yeah. Right, we need to make sure we don't spad off the end of this station, because there is a signal right at the end of the station platform from where I can see on the top right hand HUD there. Do you know what? It was it was only very recently that I realised that that little blue mark on the HUD actually lets you know that that's the station. Got something else in at the station as well. Cool. So easy to just slip up in these diesels. Oh right, people aren't getting off here then. We were just... hang on. I thought we were actually stopping at the station to let people off, but that doesn't seem to be the case. We need to stop in 200 yards. Let's just check what's happening on my IC. Okay. So we'll reclose these doors, and we have been given clearance to go. I'll just double check though. Proceed as in... that does mean I can proceed, doesn't it? Because we must be going... yeah, off the side in there. Right, well we'll soon find out. Shouldn't have put my throttle on there. Right. Right, 15 miles an hour. Super Sprinter, I wouldn't mind a mark for neutral sections. Absolutely, I totally agree. In fact, I made quite a big noise about that when Just Trains released the Preston to Carlisle route. Oh God, it was stopping. Didn't realise it was the end of the line. There we go. All completed. Nice one. I wouldn't mind a mark for the neutral zones. Yeah, I got in touch with Just Trains about it, and I had quite a lengthy discussion with them, with their support department. They're really good, actually. And they said that they'd been discussing it with Dovetail, and Dovetail said that they would implement something to put on the hood to indicate where all the neutral zones are. But Dovetail still haven't done anything about it. And it's funny you mention it, because I asked somebody from Just Trains the other day about this, whether things have progressed with implementing something to mark where the neutral zones are on the top hood. And they said that nothing has still happened with it, but they're going to give Dovetail another nudge. I can't understand how it can be so difficult for Dovetail not to put something on the hood. After all, they've recently introduced the new temporary, what would they call them, the new temporary speed limits on the hood. So, you know, I think all it needs is just like a signal marker. Instead of having either yellow or red, just have like a blue, you know, to indicate electricity, you know, the neutral zone. Because I sometimes still struggle to remember where the neutral zones are now, even though I've played it so often. I can never remember, because they're all mostly at a station, the neutral zones, but I can never remember which side of the station it's on. So it'd be really nice if the next route from Just Trains did include some kind of markers so that we know where they are. I know we've got the marker boards on the track, which do help, but sometimes the black marker boards that come first are quite difficult to... oh, look, that's showing 34 quid again there. So have you noticed this here? This is the standard pack is £34, the special edition's 34, and the deluxe is 34. And I thought that must be some kind of mistake, because when I've clicked on it and gone to the shop, the special edition is like £104. So that's a bit another bug in the system. I did try to get in touch with Steam, but you can't get in touch with Steam unless you've got an issue with one of your purchases, to clarify whether this is an error, which it probably is. Anyway, let's go back to the main menu. Sorry, I've fallen behind with chat a little bit. Hello there, Rachel. Good afternoon. Was that the whole route? It wasn't, no. There's quite a lot more to the route, actually. That was just sort of one leg of it, but we might come back to this route and do something else on it, see how we get on. Lee Grant, I don't know why your message has been deleted, sorry mate. Sometimes I see, it's because you've posted a link, it won't allow links, so sorry Lee. It's not me, it's Streamlabs, it's very strict. Learn the route like a real driver. Yes. Super Sprinter. Yes, be very good. I'm about 7 foot away from my telly, so can't see oncoming markers that way. That's why I use my hood. Cool. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the 5 circle where we were the other night, and we're going to drive the Class 158 again. I suppose I should I try that livery? I'm not sure whether I like it. I prefer the ScotRail livery. And we're going to go back in the opposite direction. So we went from Edinburgh to Levin last time, so we need to go back the other way. If I can find one. Is there one that goes back in the other direction? Yeah, there's one there. Operate this 5 circle. Oh, yeah, that's the one to do. Right, let's crack on with that. Just change our weather slightly. We'll put it to custom because I don't like the rain coming in at the very end. November's fine. We'll just give it some cloud, about 50%. There we go. Lee, I can't believe it's Christmas next month. I know it's scary how time is just flying by. It's very frightening. So we're doing the 2K 6811 Edinburgh Waverley. It's a 5-car. So let's get started.
ScotRail service 2. Calling at. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sorted.
Right, so we had some announcements then, didn't we? But she didn't say where we were going. I noticed I was watching one of Tom's streams the other night, and he was doing the Manchester commuter route, and the announcements weren't coming through properly. Is that off? We need to sort out our AWAS, if I can get to it. Dear. DSD anyway. Acknowledge that. Let's just get out the chair a minute and have a look for this vigilance. Is that it? Yeah. I think that's everything now. We need to unlock the doors, which take about 2 days to open. There we go. Some people have just bashed me out of the way. How very inconsiderate. Let's just take a high shot up here. What have we got on the back of this? Oh, it's quite a long train, isn't it? Oh, and we're pulling... Are we pulling some 170s again? Is it 170s? Yeah. It's a lovely river. Right, we can lock the doors. Rachel, 5 circle route is a great route. Yeah, I'm starting to really love it. I was being a bit naughty the other night. I was kind of saying I don't think the graphics looked really good, but I must have had my eyes closed because they look pretty fantastic, actually. And in fact, in some of it, I was so impressed with it. Some parts of it even look better than the Riviera, which is receiving really excellent reviews, which I do like myself, actually. Right, we're going to be late, aren't we? So let's release our brakes and get moving. I'll open the windows just so that we can, because it's quite quiet. Right, so, we got 25 miles for quite a while. Oh, no, it's gone up to 45. Right, so we can apply some throttle. You've got Xbox Series X. Yeah, I've got Series X too. Graphics are far superior to mine. Looks blurry a lot of the time, no matter what I try to do with the graphics. Is this on PC, Rachel? That you're playing on? Because if you are playing on PC and you've got your graphics not looking great, I was having the same issue to begin with. Yes, right. Yeah, so I was having the same issue at first because the ballast on the track was all like blurred, and it was it was pretty dreadful, really. And I asked ChatGPT, which can be quite helpful sometimes in giving you advice on different things, and but it was taking me down the wrong places, really. But I found the video on YouTube, so if you come back, if you comment on one of my videos or at the end of this stream and put a comment, it'll remind me to send you a link to the video that I used to change my settings. But if you try just searching for it in YouTube, something like Train Sim World 5, because I think the video is made for Train Sim World 5. I think he's updated the video though, but they're the same settings. Oh, we've got station coming up. PC settings for Train Sim World. And I put his settings in and just totally transformed it immediately. Overshot my mark. Too busy talking. Yeah, so the PC settings, there's a couple of videos on YouTube. I'll try and remember to post it, but if, as I say, if you comment in my comments somewhere, it'll remind me to send you a link to the PC settings. It does mean you having to go into your GPU settings themselves as well. Not just the settings within the game, you need to actually get into your GPU settings. And just, there'll be a profile, or if it's not there, you can create a profile just for Train Sim World for the GPU, and then you can change your settings within that GPU, the anti-aliasing and various other settings. So yeah. Was it Real Sim Gamer? I watched his video about settings. Was worse. Right. I don't know if it was Rail Sim Gamer. I don't know. I'll have to try and have a look. It's a bit too difficult to look at the moment. Right, we need to get going. But fortunately, whichever video I watched did the trick for me. Yeah, in the Nevada control panel, that's correct, yeah. He changed some of the settings in there. So that's the thing with the difference between PC and Xbox. Although PC has a lot more flexibility with settings and using mods and things, one has to be prepared to explore the settings, not just within the game, but the GPU as well, and some people don't like meddling around with those type of things, and that's where the Xbox is, or the PlayStation is sort of, you know, it's straight out of the box and you just play it and you don't have to kind of worry too much about fiddling around with other settings and things. I've done by a computer tech guy, came to my house and altered my settings. Cool, yeah, it's if you know someone who's really techie, especially I'm quite fortunate that I had my computer bespoke built, and he's got a gaming background as well, so he knew exactly what spec I needed to comfortably play and stream. But unless you've actually got someone who's sort of like really experienced with Train Sim World, and it's quite difficult to know whether they have enough kind of background knowledge of the game to sort of find that sweet spot with the settings, really. And the trouble is, you know, when you're looking for information online as well through forums and that, one person's settings can be completely different from someone else's, and can end up being quite a entanglement. Yeah, consoles plug and play, don't they? We haven't had a proper look outside yet, have we, since we've kind of left our destination? It seems that we're just in the wilderness at the moment. Very nice, though. Ooh, we've got one of those dreaded windmills in the background up there, I can see, that are blighting our lovely countryside. They've started popping up all over North Wales, and even when you look out into the River Dee, into the Irish Sea, these windmills have been popping up there. And there's this beautiful little island called Hilbury Island, just on the Wirral, at the end of the Wirral Peninsula, which I can see from my bedroom window, and just in the distance from it is all this windmill farm. I mean, I'm all for greener ways of producing energy, but I don't think windmills are really the answer. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with this route in real life, but I see the ballast, that the stone is quite reddish in colour. Is that an accurate depiction of? Because obviously gravel from different quarries is different, comes in a variety of different colours, doesn't it? So guessing that whatever quarries supplied the ballast for this route have kind of a red stone. We need to drop down here to 25. Yeah, Rachel, so if it's any help, remind me somewhere in comments and I can try and send you the link, and hopefully it's a different guy from the settings you used before from someone. And what's quite good, if you're not really a techie person with computers, he actually shows you step by step. Because I must admit, when I started dabbling around with the GPU settings, I was a bit nervous. But became so desperate in the end because my graphics were pretty appalling. I just took the chance, and thankfully it worked out in my favour for once. Right, we can... You've got... Lee's got meatball paste for dinner. Cool. I'm not sure whether that is my thing. You know what? I haven't had any meat spread paste for a while. That I used to have when I was a kid to go to school with. Meat paste sandwiches. My GPU, off the top of my memory, I think it's... I don't know. I can't remember it now. That's something else I need to look up as well. It's a top end one, but not top end. When I finish this journey, I might be able to have a look in my settings somewhere. Because it's 3080. You love the Class 158, Lee. Yeah, it's really nice. I love these older DMUs and EMUs. Well, DMUs really. Because I prefer the separate throttle and brake I've mentioned before. And I prefer the sort of more meaty kind of... how can I describe it? Mechanicalism of it. I did make some Cornish pasties the other day, Lee. I made my own homemade Cornish pasties because I don't seem to be able to find anywhere that sells decent pasties or pies these days. I'm never going to step into Greg's stores anymore because I don't know how anybody can eat any of their sausage rolls or anything. They're all disgusting. God knows what's in them. So I decided to make my own Cornish pasties. And they're very easy to make, especially if you use that ready-made pastry. And I've frozen some of them as well. I made quite a few. So I've got a backup of Cornish pasties now to have with chips and gravy. You loved driving the old the engines, Rachel. I'm in awe. In fact, I wouldn't mind. You can book these heritage centres. Do these sort of packages where you can drive an old diesel. I don't know how much it costs. I think probably something like 150 quid or something for an hour or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I know the railway up near me, heritage railway called Llangollen Railway. I don't know if they still do. Used to do sort of like driving sessions. So what was your favourite out of those then, Rachel? Is it this station we're stopping at? I assume it is. Right, where's my stop mark? And I'm assuming it's going to be quite far down. Is that it there behind these chaps? Yeah. No, it's not. I can't see it. We're right at the end, I think. There we go. Right, let's get the doors open. The doors that take 2 days to open. Rachel, blimey, used to get paid to try. Yeah, funny, isn't it? Someone was telling me the other day, it might have been Super Sprinter actually, they were charging £7 to, I think he'd gone to see, or someone on my stream had gone to see, did they go and see? Flying Scotsman somewhere, and had already paid to go and see the Flying Scotsman wherever it was. But then, if you wanted to blow the whistle, you had to pay an extra £7 to blow the whistle. So you get charged for everything these days. Right, let's lock the doors. I think what we'll do is we'll do a drive-away shot. That's about right there. Right, let's go. Lovely. Lovely. That woman just knocked my camera out of the way, though. Why did you do that? Right. Rachel, blimey, I used to... Oh, sorry, got the wrong one there. So the 47, the HST was your favourite. I could imagine it would be. That would... I think that would probably be my second one, but I wouldn't know unless I really had got my hands for real in a cab, and obviously been properly trained and experience each of them. But in terms of aesthetics and their sounds and everything, the Class 37 seem to be, I feel, would be my favourite. I believe the snout, or nose, or whatever you want to call it, that bit that juts out of the front, the bonnet, if you like, on a Class 37 and 45 and 40, was designed to help the driver not become mesmerised or hypnotised by the sleepers on the track. Not that I ever knew that was an issue for drivers as such, but that's how it came about anyway, apparently. Right, we're stopping in a mile's time, so we'll start dropping our brakes. Goodness me, that's an awful way of making money, says Rachel. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, that seems to be the way everything is these days, because I'm a Doctor Who fan as well, and years ago when I used to go to Doctor Who conventions, you know, you just paid to go to the convention, and then you'd pick up your autographs free of charge among the guests that had appeared on the show. But now you have to pay to go to the convention, and then pay another £100 to have an autograph and a photograph and 2 minutes with you know, it's people I feel for is people with children, and you know, I haven't got any children. I can't afford to have children even. So I feel for people who've got a few kids, and it's like I went to the chip shop the other day, and there was this family in there buying fish and chips, and the whole order come to 50 quid. Everything's just so expensive. Well, this is quite a busy station, isn't it? This bridge is going to collapse in a moment with all this people on it. Oh, got a lovely, nice, calm sea reflecting the sky, which looks cool. Wow. Right, lock the doors. We're very late, aren't we? Oops, I applied my throttle before I totally released my brakes. Oh, the doors are still closing, aren't they? I'm not surprised we're late with the doors taking 2 days to open and close. Right, let's go. Thrill Seeker, hey David, that title crack. Oh dear. Nice to see you, Thrill Seeker. Yeah, I just thought I'd start. I don't want to be accused of clickbaiting or whatever, but because I used another sort of cheeky sort of title for one of my other live streams recently. All my journeys were set in the morning on the Birmingham Crew line, I think it was. So I just called it Morning Glory, based on the Oasis song. I don't think it has any other meanings, does it? So I just having fun with some cheeky, funny little titles. Oops. Rachel, noisy, drafty, horrible things, the 37, was I hated it when I got one. That's right. So it was a case of having to wrap up warm. If you're going to be driving the Class 37, then I'll just hope it'd be in the summertime. Right, we're back up to a reasonable speed. Let's have a look at this coastline. Oh, that's lovely lighting. I know it looks all grey, but look at the depth of those clouds. £50, yeah, and it's just terrible. Earplugs and a blanket. Yeah. It's quite nice driving alongside the coast. As some of you will know, I've mentioned many times before, I live in North Wales and I live literally on the coast. Well, I'm just up on the mountain, so I won't get flooded. But I've got a lovely view across the River Dee, and I don't realise how lucky I am where I live. Find it quite strange when people get excited who live in why isn't it going to step 2? Bit too much brake on that stop. Right, let's let everybody on. Have I opened the doors? Yeah. Thrill Seeker, I just can't seem to get into the new Sprinter timetable. I feel like they've left it so long that most people just aren't interested to play, me included. Yeah, I haven't touched any of the Scottish routes for quite a long time, actually. Because this one didn't particularly appeal to me when I'd bought it in a sale. The Cathcart Circle I really like because of all the layering, but it's not really my cup of tea, stopping and starting just every 2 seconds. So the only thing that has really pulled me back was the announcement that this new timetable had been put in, and I'm quite liking. I quite like driving the 158 anyway, and I've quite enjoyed it. What I'm thinking of doing perhaps for one of my next streams is doing the Euston to Milton Keynes, the West Coast Main Line, and trying to do a journey of each of the locos. I really want to do more on the crew line, the crew to Birmingham line, but I end up having to kind of pre-test everything I want to play on there before I can stream it, because of the shambolic mess that it's in with all the different bugs. Because it's not just like the major bugs, but there's smaller bugs as well, like the Class 66 not spawning for every timetabled item. And the other day I was in the 350 and I came to a stop at a station, and I just couldn't get it going again. It was like locked, and you then get to a point where it just puts you off playing the route altogether, because there's nothing worse, particularly when there was a lot of crashes with it, driving all the way to Crewe, and then it crashing in the last moment, and you've just wasted an hour of your time. Dragon, sorry, let's have a look. How am I doing on my speed? Okay. I'm on the Wirral. The River Mersey is at the bottom of my road. Love exploring North Wales, going for a drive. Nice towns and villages. Yes, it's really quite easy, isn't it, to get over to North Wales from the Wirral, from the Mersey there. Quite easily accessible, but by train as well. Obviously, you've got to go via Chester. Shame there isn't a little ferry that crosses, even if it was just in the summer. Although the River Dee is quite silty, really. But if they did a ferry from the tip of the Wirral, or from Liverpool even over to Llandudno or Rhyl, I think there used to be one. It used to be called the Packet many years ago. So if I go in my bedroom window now, Dragon, I can wave to you through my window. But yeah, North Wales is very, very popular with the Scousers. They all like coming along to Talacra. And I've got a mountain up by me called Mulvama. That's very popular with the Scousers too. Sorry, I'm not taking the mick. I've got quite a lot of friends and relatives who are Scousers, so I think I'm allowed to put the voice on a bit. But it's a lovely accent, and I love Liverpool people. They've got a brilliant sense of humour. Whenever I go over to Liverpool and meet any of my Liverpool friends, you're guaranteed a scream. Ooh, we're going to overshoot this platform here. I'm going to put it into emergency to avoid the embarrassment. Serves my right for playing around with people's accents. Did I unlock the doors then? There we go. Rachel, in Trainsim community website there are timetable mods for Glasgow to Edinburgh, and also the 5 circle route. PC mods only though, sorry to say. Dragon, I was in Bala in August. Yeah, Bala's nice. Do you know what? I haven't been up to Bala for a while. There's a little train, I think, isn't there, that runs alongside Bala Lake. It may have even been extended as well. And the locals are all first language Welsh there too. Right, let's lock the doors. Dragon, you're... Oh, Dragon's waving to me. Thrill Seeker, I might have to try it once. I've enough of Birmingham to Crewe. I live in a nearby village to Crewe, so it gives a homey feel. No, what from you? I thought that word said something else. A homey feel, even though I've never actually gone to Birmingham via train. Right, why aren't we moving? I should be moving, aren't we? Dragon, I'm not Scouse, but I have a twang. It's quite funny, depending on what parts of the country I go to, some people think I've got a bit of a Scouse twang, or maybe it's to do... Depends on who I'm mixing with, really. Because sometimes if I spend time with old colleagues or people from Anglesey who I used to work with, I'll end up sort of picking up their accent. When I went to uni, I trained as an actor, and we didn't do a lot of work on people's accents as such, but we did voice work and stuff. So I don't know whether my previous acting training sort of picks up people's accents. But something I don't hear... Well, obviously I don't live in London, but whenever I've been to London, you don't hear much of the Cockney accent anymore. It's like an accent that's dying off. Yes, next to the Sailing Clubhouse, so the trains are still cool. Nice to go for a dip in the lake during the summer. Something that's quite popular with the ladies around here is, I forget what they call it, where they go swimming in the lakes, in the cold water. I can't stand the cold. So all you ladies who go and do this, I think there's a name for it, isn't there? Where they go for a dip in these lakes, in the cold. Ooh, the thought of it's just making me feel cold now. Right, we're doing a lot of speed here. I'm going to have to put 2 steps in and we're going downhill. Right, I've gone back down to step 1. You used to work for Stena Line Irish Ferries in Holyhead many years ago. Great times. Oh, wow, that must have been amazing. They're very brave. It's a cold for me, yes. Going back to what you were saying about the ferries, I used to work for a company called Careers Wales, which was I'll tell you about it in a minute. I'll just stop this train. Where's my stop marker? Right at the end. And we're going to overshoot there. That's alright. Yeah, Holyhead, yeah, the ferries and that. Occasionally you'd have the odd American, what they call it, cruise ship. And we had the opportunity, with Careers Wales, we had the opportunity to go and look at different employers and what they did behind the scenes to see how you became, you know, a sailor or whatever, or a firefighter or whatever, stuff like that. So we'd visit a fire station. But on one of the occasions I went to Holyhead, and there was a cruise ship, and we were given a meal aboard. All the people on board had left for the day to go round the castles, probably, with them being American, and because they love the castles, to do the Americans. And right, we've locked the doors, haven't we? Just waiting for our buzzer. Oh, the doors are locked. Right, let's go and get the brakes off. Right, we're very late. So those of you who've joined the chat, joined us a little bit later, I've been too busy chatting, so that's why we're late. But I was talking about Holyhead, this cruise ship. And we had a full tour. They took us on the bridge, took us behind the scenes in the kitchens, into the crew quarters, and they took us into the stores. And it was like being on the Star Trek Enterprise, on the lower levels where all the stores are. And they took us into the engine room as well, which was amazing. The engines were the size of buses. I think there was about 4 engines altogether, like the size of double-decker buses. And they shown us the mortuary, because a lot of old people go on ferries. In fact, a lot of retired old people just live on cruises. It works out cheaper to live on a cruise permanently than it is to pay your council tax and everything. And of course, they'd have to have a mortuary on board. We're going to speed here. In fact, it feels exceptionally fast here. So you worked on the freight there, did you, Thrill Seeker? That must have been amazing. Right. Don't think we're going to catch up on our time now, are we? Dragon, I think Wales has the most castles in the world. Does it? I didn't know that. It probably does, doesn't it? Thrill Seeker, that's so cool. I'm still in secondary school, so obviously don't have a job, and wanted to work on a vessel before wanting to be a train driver. Oh right, wow. Yeah, it was very interesting. How there's sadly on the cruises, there seemed to be a lot of cheap labour. So you had a lot of different foreign nationalities from countries that are not so wealthy, and so their labour is taken advantage of, and so a lot of the staff on the cruises were foreign. But however, there seemed to be quite a lot of Irish people working on this particular American cruise, particularly the maintenance staff working in the engine rooms. Which was quite interesting to know. And I'm not quite sure how long they spend, but I think it's something like a 3-month period, and then they'll have like 6 weeks off or something like that. I could be wrong now, because my memory starts to get skewed as time goes on. So, provided you're happy to be away from home and spend months away from home, then it can be quite an interesting career. Just get out of this tunnel, echoing. Dragon, hospitals with nurses and doctors on the big ferries to back them. Yeah, did someone mention, and you mentioned jails too, yeah. You've had your dinner, have you, Lee? Good. I haven't had mine yet. Oh, this looks like it could be a good scenery shot, maybe. Right, we're stopping again, Charlie. That's the only damn thing about this route, is I'm going to take in all the scenery, and there's a station too frequently, which is causing me to brake severely because I keep popping outside. Thrill seeker, I've been on multiple cruises, and it was the sort of environment that drove me off it. Yeah, the staff told me that they work really hard, you know, but they play hard too. So you can end up having a great social life, but you are stuck with the same people for 3 months or whatever it is. Where's my can't see a stop board? Is it behind those chaps over there? Yeah, this chap here is blocking my board. Right, fellas? You can get cadetships on ferries and ships. Sorry, as I was reading your thing, my camera's getting thrown around. You can get cadetships on ferries and ships. It's like an apprenticeship. Google it, you'll find some thrill seekers. Yes. There is like an apprenticeship for a variety of different skilled positions. Lock the doors. The engine room was very, very interesting, and the amount of spare parts that they have stored in the engine room as well. They have every single possible part that could break down. And one of the engines would always be off. Oh god, I'm rolling back here. Let me just... What I need to do is perhaps just put on a little bit of throttle. It won't let me do that. Do you know what? I don't know how you do a hill start in a 158. I think I'm just going to have to just flick and flick it up. There we go. I should have put a bit of sand down as well then, actually. Where is the sand button on here? Is there a sand button? Is anybody else... Alright, I'll tell you what. We got the big famous bridge now. It's... Right. Where's the sound gone? Have I switched the sound off? 1 2 1 2. So the game sound's gone. Oh no, it's still there. It must be because I'm just so far out. Oh, right, it's gone into emergency because I didn't hear my... I'll have to get back in the cab. Right, off we go. Sorry about that. I wanted to do a nice shot, but we went into emergency because I couldn't hear the AWAS. Let's see if I can just try again. There we go, anyway. It's some kind of reasonable shot. Wow. Obviously the most impressive part of the route. Or many of the routes, really. Right, let's get back in before our AWAS starts playing with us again. Dragon, I loved the ferries, wouldn't work on a cruise ship. Good money on the ferries, meet people from all over the world. Yes, I imagine with the ferries as well, you're able to go home at the end of the day too, rather than having to spend months on board. I'm guessing. Lee Grant, I won't tell you what movie is on because of stream. Right. I'm bloody curious now. Right, we got a station here. Look at me. Terrible. Right, get the doors open. Dragons driven on the other bridge many times. Love looking over to the train bridge, yeah. Wow. Dragon, they have a full-time painting crew on the bridge. When they finish, they start all over again. Yeah, I think that's... I've heard that about somewhere else as well. God, that must be quite a scary job. Painting that. I was watching, have we locked the doors? Yeah. Just waiting for the signal. I was watching an old BBC documentary that's on YouTube about lighthouses when they used to be staffed. And I was just gobsmacked by how they used to, because I think they're all automated now, lighthouses, aren't they? But they used to be manned, and even during the 70s and 80s, and they just used to hoist the lighthouse staff would be brought along on a fisherman's boat in terrible weather, and then they'd use a harness and like a wire, forget what you call it now, to haul them up the rocks up to the frightening stuff. And they didn't wear safety gears in the 70s or 80s. They actually wore suits with ties, and they have like a sailor's cap on, which is just crazy. Lee's back. Hello, Lee. Dragon Stena Challenger was my first ship from Holyhead, and last ship was the Irish Ferries. Oh, I can't pronounce that word. Ulysses, massive ferry. Thrill Seeker. Another thing I'd look into if it paid more is a coaster operator or engineer. I'm a bit of a theme park nerd. Yeah, I imagine you wouldn't think straight away, would you, an engineer or a mechanic at theme parks? But definitely. It's funny you mention your interest in theme parks, because I was regularly watching some chap who goes around all these British theme parks, and I've noticed a lot of YouTubers who cover these theme parks. I've noted that, like Blackpool Pleasure Beach, for example, and even Alton Towers are not faring too well at the moment. I don't know whether that's because people just can't afford to go to these theme parks anymore, or whether COVID has still made us all into permanent hermits and don't go out as often. I don't know. Lee Grant, it's been nice during the sunset or sunrise. Yes, we haven't quite got a sunset type of... What time of day we are? Yeah, we're sort of like in the middle of the day here, aren't we? Yes, it's quite nice driving along here in sunset or early morning. Right, we need to, gosh, we're rocketing away here.
is not permitted in any part of this.
Oops, I've undershot this time. Gosh, that his suitcase is a little bit too close for comfort. Right. Let's get the doors open. Theme Park Worldwide is a good channel on YouTube. Right, I'll try and look out for that one. Thrill Seeker. Lots of people vlog theme parks quite often nowadays because the past couple of years for theme parks all over the world, huge investments have recently been made. Alright, well it's good to hear that they are still being invested into. A little bit worried about Blackpool. Because it's a shame that seasides within the UK have died off, haven't they? And I think Blackpool feels it now as well. I don't know how well Blackpool illuminations do anymore. It used to be a massive tourist attraction. It feels like when I'd last seen the lights, but it was a few years ago now, it felt like a lot of corners had been cut. Lee doesn't like fast rides. I didn't originally. Quite funny. I was kind of thrown into it. Under strange circumstances. That I was going out with this girl. I hadn't been going out with her for long, and I didn't want to appear to be a wimp, you know, and say, oh, I'm too scared to go on that or whatever. And she was well into all these, you know, the Oblivion and whatever else. I can't remember the names of all the rides there now, Nemesis or whatever. What's the name of the one? Is it Oblivion, the one where you just drop right down? The thought of going on any of these things absolutely petrified me, but I didn't want to appear to be a wimp. And during the course of that day, we went on everything. I must have been wetting myself. But what it did do is I overcome my fear of fast rides through pretending to be brave. Blackpool is hanging on. They still do well more when the lights go on in the winter. Cool, well, that's good to know. In fact, I fancy going to Blackpool right now, actually, and seeing the lights myself. It'd bring back a lot of nostalgia for me from my childhood when we used to go on coach trips up to Blackpool. Loved all the, you know, shops and everything along there. Dragon, love the fast rides. So looks like we're moving into the crikey. Moving into the more built-up area now. As we reach the end of our journey. Oh, and this is our station too. Is this our last station? Oh no, we got another one. There's no one at this station, is there? Right, let's get the doors open. Dragon, fresh donuts and candy floss. Yeah, I can smell them right now. Amazing, yeah. The toffee apples as well, I think, wasn't there? Frill Seeker, I remember when I was younger and my uncle was an electrician. We went to see the lights in Blackpool and there was someone maintaining the lights on the tower. And I remember screaming, "Hi, Uncle." Oh, dear. Did he wave back, Seeker? Right, let's go. Yeah, I find it amazing how these people work at big heights, you know, like painting Blackpool Tower, or like there's a few pylons that run over the mountain just behind me, and there's a crew up there at the moment replacing all the cables on the pylons. And my father-in-law used to paint them as well. And in his day, they didn't have any harnesses or safety equipment, and he just climbed it, you know. What is it, Fred Dibner style, you know. Crikey, what an amazing man he was. Fred Dibner. just thinking of some of the videos I've watched on YouTube of Fred Dibner. The way he used to just be able to calculate how to remove which bricks to ensure that it fell in the right direction. Wow, we've crossed right over, haven't we? That was quite an interesting move across the rails there. I'm thinking of setting up like a Discord channel so that we can all keep connected when I'm not streaming. I'll look into setting that up, which I think would be good for us regulars to keep in contact with. I'm only just getting used to using Discord. It's a bit of a new thing to me. So set something up, and then when I've set it up, when I see you all again on another stream, I can put a link in the description, can't I? And perhaps give you more notice of when I'm streaming, because at the moment I'm struggling to... I would like to... Oh God. I'd like to be able to schedule streams for a particular day or time, but I'm struggling because I live here on my own with two dogs that want to kill each other. One's a puppy and the one's an old man, and he just doesn't want to be aggravated. But I would like to start making things more kind of scheduled. Right, I'm just gonna check on the chat. Thrillseeker, I also don't know why, but I used to be really scared of the lift on Blackpool Tower. I remember it, or something else constantly screeching. Yeah, it is a bit nerve-wracking. I'm not the best on heights, really, to be honest with you. And I'm not too keen on lifts, neither. Dragon, I worked for Steam Packets Isle of Man Hesham. You could see all the Blackpool lights sailing past. Wow. Thrillseeker, no way. We saw that ferry earlier this year when we visited Morecambe. Lovefred. Some were one brick at a time. Yeah, unbelievable. No space to fall. Yeah, the chimney, what a brave man he was. Yeah, amazing. And he had his hobby was he had a steam engine, didn't he? Which used to drive around his neighbourhood. Right, brilliant. Well, what I'm going to do, folks, it's 5 o'clock, and although my dogs haven't awakened yet, they're soon, with their internal clock, they will soon start moidering me for their food, and I need to feed myself too. So I'm going to leave the stream there for today. I don't think I'm going to pop on again later tonight, but I might pop on tomorrow. I don't know, but I'll certainly be on in the next couple of days or so. But what I'd like to do is just give a big shout out to you regulars. It's really much appreciated. And it brings a lot more fun to the game, and it's nice chatting and reminiscing about our past. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully I'll see you soon. If you got any ideas or suggestions or anything you'd like to see, then let me know in the chat, or rather in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye now.